Today, we are diving into estate planning as well as administration here with the Gasper Law Group. We're joined with the two head honchos. We've got Jack Roth as well as Catherine Seals here. Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
How are you?
We're good.
I mean, we've already made it to February. It's kind of like one of those things that just goes with the blink of an eye this year has.
I'm still stunned. I just rolled over and it was February.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? Okay. So we're here to kind of talk a little bit about estate planning and the administration part of it and kind of your role in helping Southern Colorado, especially with things that might not be top of mind when planning for the future.
What we do here at the Gasper Law Group is cover the entire breadth of not just elder law, but trust and administration and estate administration. The first thing someone does when they lose someone, take the time to grieve. That's the most important thing. You're not going to solve any problems by rushing through, because we've had people who come the next day like, take your time and grieve. That's the most important thing. After that, people who come to us figure out, what do I do now? What do I do with mom's estate? How do we find the assets? Sometimes there's conflict with siblings that goes back to when they were little. We can't necessarily stop the conflict, but as Catherine can talk about, we can definitely try to minimize the legal impact from that. Also going that, even before that, Catherine, as you can see, she actually did write the book on elder law.
Yes.
And I'll let Catherine talk about what that is.
It's a pretty official book, too.
But that's guardianships and conservatorships. And Catherine here is the subject matter expert. She is the preeminent person. She's a member of NALA, and I'll have her explain what that is, of the body of law of elder law here, not only in Southern Colorado, but in all of Colorado.
Yeah.
And the knowledge that she's giving our younger associates is just invaluable. I sit and I listen to her like, oh, geez, I didn't even think about that too. So her expertise is invaluable.
Oh my gosh, yeah. We're going to be meeting a couple new of those attorneys that we haven't met yet before here, coming up in a little bit on Loving Living Local. Catherine, hearing your partner kind of sing your praises like this and talk about how your expertise is really helping better the future of Gasper Law Group. Talk to me a little bit about what you do here and kind of how that's beneficial.
Well, what I can tell you is I am passionate about elder law. I have worked with seniors my entire legal career. I wanted to be an elder law attorney, and I enjoy working with seniors. I've done a lot of work. I did write the book for a legal publisher that publishes what's known as the Colorado Practice Series, and they have a volume on every major area of law.
Yeah. And
when they decided they needed the elder law volume, they came to me and asked me to write it. And so I was pleased to do that. It was a tremendous amount of work, but it was also useful as a refresher. Basically, think of elder law as every area of law that a person has, whether it's real estate, whether it's tax, whether it's estate planning. The laws affect seniors differently, and so you need to look at it from the perspective of a senior. Our estate planners talk not just about planning for an estate when you die, but also planning for what happens if, as you age, you become incapacitated and you're no longer capable of making either your financial decisions or your very personal decisions about where you live and what kind of medical care you're going to receive. If you don't make a plan, then your family will be forced to go to court to figure out who's going to be in charge, and there might be conflicts. So planning for incapacity is as important as planning for what happens when you die. Our job is to work with those people who've been appointed in those roles. So if a daughter comes to me and she's the agent under power of attorney, I always tell her my job is to cloak you in Teflon. I need you to know what your job is, and I need to make sure that you properly do your job, because people have the right to ask for an accounting, look at your records, and we need to be able to show that you've done everything exactly the way Colorado law requires you to do it. People that don't seek legal advice when they start acting as an agent for a parent can end up in trouble even with the best of intent, because they're going to be judged by a system of rules that they didn't even know existed. So I like it when someone who's an agent under power of attorney says, gosh, I thought I might come see a lawyer to make sure I'm doing everything properly. And I can sit down with them and review their responsibilities and make sure they do. They may have siblings that disagree with them. They may have conflict of some sort. But as long as they're doing their job properly, a court is not going to remove them as agent if that's who the parent designated as the person in charge. So I think for my aging clients, it's working with the client, and then if the client is not capable of working with an attorney, working with a fiduciary who is assisting the senior is very important to me.
What type of people should be coming to use your services here on the third floor?
People who are going to be responsible for other people's money. That's what a fiduciary is. The biggest problem I've seen is people who think, well, I can keep the money separate in my head, or I can keep it and I'll put it in my bank account, and that where I know where it is. And that's a cardinal sin right there. Do not commingle funds. And so even a rule as simple as that probably is something that one wouldn't think about. And I wouldn't blame them for not thinking about it until they come talk to us.
Yeah.
The other thing is, well, how do I prepare an accounting? How do I keep things as transparent as possible? And the more transparent a fiduciary is, and the more ready they are to show, look, here's what I did, here's why I did it, here's where the money went, then the litigation aspect severely decreases. And as one of our estate planners, Pam, will tell you, is that it's her job to try to keep me out of business as far as not having litigation. Now, I'll have plenty of litigation because people do foolish things with money sometimes. But as Catherine said, what we try to do is coat you in Teflon. So even if you have made an error, most errors are recoverable. That, okay, we can fix it, but you need to take steps to fix it. And these are how you maintain that transparency going forward. Should someone say, okay, prove to me you're not taking the money.
All right. Well, thank you two so much for your insights here this morning. I'm excited to learn a little bit more. We're going to meet Pam and Emily, two other attorneys you guys got here with the Gasper Law Group. So let's go see what they're up to.
Cool.
Thank you.
Perfect.